Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Marvelous Monday. I'm Leslie Watkins. I hope you had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. I know for some of you today might be a holiday as well. Not so much for me. But I did have a really nice weekend, and we had barbecue, some of the best barbecue I've ever had. So thank you to the tall man who did such a nice job on preparing that. And as I mentioned on Saturday, in Paper Crafting Saturday, I showed you how to make a cute wine label to bring with you to a barbecue or some kind of a picnic or whatever. Actually, it could be any occasion. But today, I have to prepare a little invitation for the guests that I'd like to invite to my barbecue that's coming up in another week or two. So I thought I would take you along with me and show you what I had in mind. So let's get started. So just as a little refresher, this is the really cute wine label. Let me zoom you in. That's way out there. There we go. So this is the wine label that I made, and you can watch this video on Paper Crafting Saturday. That is just the video before this one, and it'll show you how I did that. And what I thought I would do today is make a coordinating invitation that uses some of the same elements that I used in preparing this little label, which I really like, by the way. It has that backing on the back, so this is a doubled up layer, and so it's nice and sturdy. It's almost like a little luggage tag, and of course you could either personalize it and write your recipient's name on here and love your name, or just leave it as is, and then they can pass it along to the next party that they go to. So to make this tag, I used the bundle Forever Grapevine along with the dies. And if you get these two, the stamp sets and the dies together, you save 10%. And I will be listing all of the materials that I used today below after the video. If you're in a hurry, you can go look at the previous video and you will find a host code and the supply list and get those things whenever you like. But what I've done is I've gone ahead of time and I've already die cut a number of the pieces. So I've got them in both the gold foil and the old olive. And this is one of the clear envelopes that I use to protect my greeting cards with, but you can also use it to keep your extra die cuts all together so it's ready to go when you grab your stamp set. So I'm going to be using some of these today. Also, again, I will be using this stamp set, Create with Friends, because I want to use that Celebrate stamp again. This is the tailor-made tags that I used in the previous video. I will not be using that today, but I will be using this stamp set called Days to Remember. And this is a really great stamp set. It has the days of the week starting both on Monday or Sunday, whichever is your preference. I'm one of those people that likes to start on Monday because I like to keep my weekends together. But I kind of have a dual purpose because Sunday also is the day that I plan the week ahead, so I could switch that up from time to time. Then you've got your days of the months, you've got some sentiments, you've got some cute little symbols that you can use to overprint on your calendar. And then you've got this wonderful universal calendar here, and I'm going to show you how to use this because I think some people are confused as to how you might go about using this. And there's a very easy and elegant way to do it that that I really appreciate. So one of the reasons why I like this set so much, not only as in invitations, as I will be showing you today, but I'm also a journal maker. I like to make books and sketchbooks, and I like to keep a diary and plan out my weeks and months and even years ahead of time. And with this stamp set, I can use it to completely customize my my notebook so that I can have it just the way I like it. And that's really a video all unto itself, which I may do in the future at some point. But for those of you out there who are into journaling, who are into junk journals, who keep a diary, who plan ahead, this is a fantastic set to have. And as I mentioned in the last video, if you're interested in purchasing any of the items that I'm using today, please use the July host code, because if you go over $50 with your order, I will be sending you a special gift from me in the mail as a thank you. And for those of you who already placed orders, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It very much helps my business, and I make a small commission on those orders, so I appreciate that. All right, so let's get started. I'll clear the decks here a little bit. I'm going to be using the Very Vanilla as my card base. And I've already pre-cut some of the pieces. So here I have a matte layer, and this is Ritual Razzleberry, and this measures 3 3/4 by 5. So that gives me a nice 1/4 inch border around the edges. This is what we're going to make, but I'm going to show you how to do it. And this measures 2.5 by 3 1/4, and that's going to fit nicely on here. So here's the one I'm going to be using. And then I have a scrap here that I'm going to be using to stamp my Celebrate on, and this one measures 1.5 by 3 1/4. So let's get our stamping done. For this, I'm going to be using my stamp pad, and this is just a foam piercing pad, which you can get. I'll include this in the items as well. And it's just covered up with a scrap paper. I'm using the grid paper that has the measurements on it, which can also be handy. So this is what that big calendar stamp looks like, and I can understand why this could be confusing, because it repeats itself, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 columns with different numbers in different places, and you might be wondering, what the heck? Well, Stampin' Up! Has done something absolutely brilliant to make this really easy. And that is that they've taken the stamp and they've designed it in such a way that it fits perfectly over the width of an ink pad. So what I did was I went to my calendar online and I just double checked to see what day of the week the 1st of July fell on. And this year it falls on a Thursday. Okay, so I want the 1st to be on a Thursday. But before I get to that, let's just get the days of the week on our calendar here started. So what I have mounted up here are Monday through Sunday. Okay, and so I am using Monday as the first day of the week this time. And I'm just going to line that up with the top of my calendar, not too far up because I want to put the month as well. So there are my days of the week. Let me get you in here so make sure you can see that well. And now, remember, I want Thursday to be on the 1st. So if I carefully line up my stamp with the ink pad, only those days are going to be inked. Okay, the extra days are not going to be inked. And of course you can scooch this over depending on what day of the week you want the 1st to begin with. So in the Monday calendar, count from Monday, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's the 4th position. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's all lined up. Just make sure that's inked well. Now excuse my head while I look down over this and get this squared up. I line up the 1st under Thursday. There we go. And there is my perfectly aligned calendar with the 1st on Thursday, which is good for July of 2021. And then I've got the month July, which I can put at the top of my calendar. And again, I'm going to lean in here, so excuse me. Uh-oh. I'm going to try that again, see if I can get that lined up. Okay, not so good. I'm going to have to do some creative fixing for that. Actually, why don't I just show it to you again, because if that was a little confusing to anybody, you might want to see it again. So our cardstock has 2 sides, but because I cut this out on the other side, there's a little bit of a burr around the edges, so I'm just going to smooth that down so that little edge isn't turning up. So there we go. And once again, I'm going to start with the days of the week, just like so. I'm going to line up my days of the month with my stamp pad, just like so. Make sure I've got this right side up, lining up the 1st under Thursday. There's my calendar and my date, my month. And this time I'm going to make sure I press it evenly. There we go. And there's my sweet calendar. And there, of course, are a ton of things that you can do with calendars as gift items. So you could go ahead and stamp up an entire year of these and make a little universal calendar to keep on your desk if you like. Now, because my special date is going to be on the 20th, I can go back to the stamp set, and there's this cute little circle here. And I can take an alternate color, so this time I'm going to use the old olive ink. And line this up over the 20th. There we go. So that's my stamping done for the calendar. Now I want to do the create. So for that I'm going to be using the Blackberry Bliss ink pad. And I'm going to go back to Create with Friends. I'm going to grab my Celebrate stamp. And so I don't lose these little things, I'm just going to pop them onto my stamp cover so I know where they are when it's time to clean everything. And I can put Celebrate down. I'm using a line on the grid paper, which you probably can't see through all the ink here, but I can just pop that onto my block. There we go. I really like this script very much. I think I'm going to be getting a lot of use out of this stamp set. Alright, so those are our stamp pieces. Now I have my card base here, which is very vanilla, 4.5 by, or 4.25 by 5.5. And I'm just going to glue down my rich raspberry layer. Get that where I want it. That looks good. Give that a little burnish. Okay, now I'm taking my calendar, get that lined up. My sentiment. Okay. Give that a quick burnish. Make sure that didn't shift. Okay, that looks good. So there's the basis of my card, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to decorate it. So I'm also going to have a matching envelope. So this is the very vanilla matching envelope, so I'll use that as well. And I'm going to take this little motif and stamp the back of the envelope. I'm using my old olive for this. And let's see, which way do I want it to go? I guess it goes this way. And now I'm going to get out my envelope of die cuts and start decorating. Let me zoom you out a scotch here so you can see. So I think I'm going to want some of the green. And for some tips on die cutting these pieces, you can go back to that previous video and I show you some ways that you can cut these out using your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. If you don't have a cut and emboss machine and would like one, please contact me because I can help you save a lot of money on the purchase of one. And you'll also be able to join my team of designers, get great design tips, watercolor classes, and a whole bunch of other bonuses. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, please go to my website and go to the tab under Join, and you can learn more about some of the things that, some of the benefits that you can receive by being a member. All right, so I've got a nice assortment here. And let me get this little green one out. This might be handy. This is a leftover scrap from the last piece I used, and I just popped it back in this envelope, and I may be able to fit this nicely. Let's flip it around. I love that. Okay, I'm going to use that. And I am in love with this stamp and die set right now. I just love the way this looks. So if you're interested in this, I'll also be listing this below as well. And you can save 10% on the bundle when you buy them both together. There's also a special going on right now with Designer Series papers. So if you like some of the beautiful pattern paper that's available, you can get, I think it's 15% off right now. So lots of stuff going on. So I'm just putting some tiny little dots here on these very fine tendrils, and I'm using my reverse tweezers to hold it. And if you don't have a reverse tweezers, they're really super handy to have on hand for these little tiny things, especially when you want to place them exactly where you want them. And these tweezers are made by EK Tools, and you can get that on Amazon. Now I'm going to take a little piece of tissue paper, and I'm just going to blot off any blobs of glue so I don't make a mess. And I'm going to get this lined up right where I want it. hold that down for just a moment. Okay, and then what I think I want to do is, let's see what this looks like. See if I have room to put a little border. That's not bad. I think I'll do that too. So for this, I'm going to not bother putting glue on these edges that I'm going to cut off, but what I will do is get these big areas glued up. Okay, and then go back in and dot. Now, if you're making a lot of invitations, I'm not, but this might be a bit more than you want to commit to, because if you had to make, say, 20 or more invitations, this would take quite a lot of time. So unless you're an avid crafter or have some helpers, this may not be the project for you. But I'm not having that many people coming by, and I do have a couple of helpers, so I think this will be just fine. All right, again, just lightly touch that on my tissue. I'm going to line this up. I'm just holding this for just a moment until the glue sets up. And then using my snips, I'm just going to remove these overlapping pieces. And I'm going to give that a nice burnishing. Make sure that every little bit is adhered. And there's my green. Now I want to add a little bit of bling. So I've got all this nice gold to choose from. I've got a number of tendrils and gold leaves. So I'm just going to pick a selection of those. I'm going to start with my, so these leaves are 3 different sizes. I'm going to start with the larger size first. Just put a dot of glue on that. Oop, didn't grab it. Let's get that again. There we go. Put a dot of glue on there. Get a little one. think I'll add a, oops, let's get that on there. Okay, and a couple more. And now I'm just going to fill out some of these areas with these beautiful little tendrils. There's also the fine tip applicator that you can use if you're not comfortable using the liquid glue. Try the fine tip applicator, it may work better for you. Okay, and I think one more gold tendril. So let's see, do I have a little one? Looking for a little one. There's one in here. There we go. I'm pushing the glue with the nozzle of my glue bottle here. I'm barely squeezing it at all. And again, you can do the same thing with the tissue. Just blot that lightly. And I think I'll put this one right in here. Okay, so there is the card so far. I'm going to take my metallic pearl embellishments and add a couple of little pearl shapes. And for this I'm using my snips. I'm just using the tip of my snips to gently lift and place maybe one more. And there it is. So there is my special invitation with the matching envelope and the coordinating tag. Okay, so I hope you got inspired to make some beautiful invitations for your next party, and I hope you like this bundle as much as I do. I think it's fantastic. And again, it's the Forever Grapevine bundle with the Create with Friends sentiments, and this time using the Days to Remember calendar stamp set. So thank you so much for joining me. Hope you have a great week. Stay well, stay happy, stay creative. If you decide to do something with these stamp sets, please share them with me. I love to see what you do. I think we all get better and better as we kind of ping pong these ideas back and forth with each other. And again, if you're interested in any of the special deals going on right now, if you'd like to join my team, go to dandelioncottagedesign.com and please sign up for my newsletter, Notes from Dandelion Cottage, to stay up to date on all of the classes and online events I have coming right up. I'll see you next on Wednesday for Watercolor Wednesday, and that's all for now.